Hey, what's going on there, guys? This is Hzrd bringing you some beginner tips and tricks to hunter dueling druids. Now, this is specifically related to 1v1 scenarios in arena, battlegrounds, and dueling. And this is specifically against Feral Druids. I don't ever recommend dueling against resto or any kind of healer because it's just painful, and why the hell would you? It's just a massive waste of time. Anyway, here are the tips and or tricks. As a Feral Druid will normally start with a pounce, you'll want to open up with a flare and an ice trap. This will cause the druid to be locked in ice and let the duration of the pounce last out. You want to get a little bit of distance but not too much and open up with a fear out of this ice trap. Normally what this will allow you to do is line up an aim shot and a chimera shot, which if you're geared will drop them by quite a substantial amount of HP. Unfortunately in this specific duel, the Feral Druid trinkets and berserks and dashes against me. As he's just used his leap to close the gap between us, I can now freely disengage and concussive shot to keep him away from me, leaving him at max range with a slow on him, effectively wasting his big damage cooldowns. The two things that I want to point out from that is A, never disengage until your enemy has used their gap closer. So for example, warriors charging or leaping, druids feral leaping, rogues using shadow step, mages using blink. Any of these abilities that are used primarily to close distance between you and your opponent for, using your big damage cooldowns or whatever it is that they want to do, you should never be disengaging until those abilities have been used, because if you disengage and then they use that, you've just wasted one of your best defensive cooldowns. The primary thing that you need to do as a hunter against any melee, against even casters, is keep range at all times. Any good mage, warlock, or caster will know that all they need to do is sit on you to stop you from doing damage. If they can do that and continue to do damage, they've effectively won the fight. And B, never use your big offensive cooldowns on any class unless you know that your opponent has already used his defensive cooldowns. So what you need to do is focus on forcing the trinkets, forcing those defensive cooldowns, throwing down someone and then smashing massive damage on them to get the trinket up, and just sticking on them as much as you can. Don't just charge someone or leap someone because you're not at melee range. There are other ways of getting around that. Druids, so many Feral Druids that I see don't use their human form as much as they should be, whether it's for using Entangling Roots or whether it's Nature's Grasp, whatever they need to do. So many Feral Druids are just not stance dancing as much as they need to. Other things to remember are always keep your Widow Venom up against a Feral Druid, because if they go into bear form and they start popping all their Frenzy Regeneration and defensive cooldowns, their health is going to come back really fast. Another thing to try is swapping between Snake Trap and Frost Trap. What you can do with this is force leaps to occur. So if you can put a trap on yourself and you stand there and you let them get into melee range with you, eat up that trap and get stuck, you can run away, not disengage, but run away. They'll normally leap after you or try to dash after you, in which case you can just conk shot them and just kite them around in aspect of the fox. But what you want to do after that is put down a frost trap, and that way they'll either leap to you or get caught in the frost trap. At some point they're going to leap to you. If they don't, they're just going to die. This is an effective way of forcing the Feral Druid to use his distance breaker and allow you to disengage and conk shot and continue to kite them even more. Don't be afraid to use your first deterrence early in on the fight. What this will do is it'll mitigate a lot of the initial damage that you'll expect to get from bleeds, and also stop a lot of the damage that the druid will try to put on you at the start of the fight. This will cause one of two things to happen. Either the druid's going to pop offensive cooldowns and try to catch up to the damage that you're putting on him, or he's going to start using distance breakers to try and get onto you and start putting those dots on you and start whittling you away. In either case, they're using abilities and they're using cooldowns that they shouldn't be, allowing you to continue to use defensive cooldowns and break distance and conk shot them and slow them down, and more of the same thing. So there's just a couple of things that I wanted to point out for you guys. If you're having any trouble just dueling against Feral Druids, I know that their bleeds can get ridiculously overpowered. So yeah, just a couple of tips to give you guys some help and junk. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment below and like and favorite the video too. Why the hell not? Subscribe if you like the sound of my voice, if you like my accent, blah. Otherwise, yeah, if I missed anything, if you think there's anything that I didn't put in, then leave a comment below and tell me what I did wrong. Otherwise, shove it up your bum.